told them they would leave, but somebody sees you. Somebody will never leave you. God only knows what you've been through.
Hey everybody, good morning. I hope you're doing well. Let's get the music down over here. All right. God only knows. Got it. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 1321, 1321. Get that off of there. Hey, so it's a good day in Arkansas. We just finished up the path this past weekend. My name is Sean Murphy. I'm the founder of The Path, the founder of The Journey, live events that happen out here in Shirley, Arkansas. And I'm also the creator of your Self-Talk Academy, your Secret Sauce Academy, 5-time #1 best-selling author, and working each day to be a better dad, better husband. My question to you today is, are you ready to accept leadership? Now, wait a second, before you get all flustered and bent out of shape, yes, you're going to have to accept some leadership from those around you, but are you willing to accept the moniker? Are you willing to accept the task of leadership? See, that's where most people fall short. That's where most people fail. That's where most people utterly get stuck, is their ability to lead. So now my question to you is, now that you know you are a leader, what are you going to lead? What are you going to work on? What are you going to work towards? What are you going to work with for your leadership? Well, a lot of times we will lead by those who are leading us. We will do similar things. We will have similar conversations. We will have similar dialogues. And we will lead the way others lead us. So here's a question for you. Are you ready to lead? Are you ready to lead yourself in a way that you haven't led before? Are you ready to lead others in a way you haven't led before? Well, now the question is that who are you following that you are going to use their leadership? See, leadership requires acceptance. And what are you accepting from the people you're following? Listen carefully. Are you accepting their success in a business model? That's a good thing. That's a good thing to follow people who are successful in a business model. The hard question is, here's the tough question. Are you willing to follow those same people who maybe have just horrible family lives? Are you able to follow those people who have bad fiscal responsibility? They always seem just a little overbent, next to broke. Are you willing to follow those people who their health is not what they need it to be? Just asking. All too often we follow people in a very one-dimensional attitude, one-dimensional location. So my question to you is this: what are you willing to accept for leadership? What have you accepted in leadership that has not served you in the past? This whole month of October is all about leadership. And today, the challenging question that very few people will broach, very few people will talk about is, who are you leading? What kind of leadership have you accepted into your life? See, the biggest challenge that we have in our world is that the leadership that we accepted as children, we had no choice. We had no influence. We had no idea. We had no decision-making process. We accepted a level of leadership that is the leadership that we now use when we think about money. How do you make money? What have you been taught? What have you been led to believe on how you make money? Good morning, everybody. What have you been led to believe on what it takes to have a wonderful relationship? What have you been led to believe? What have you been led and accepted on how happy you can be? What have you been led to believe and you accepted on how you wake up? What have you been led to believe on how it is that you sleep? What have you been led to believe and accepted that you should be as a mom? What have you been led and accepted to believe you should be as a dad, as a friend, as a business entrepreneur? See, here's the reality. Let me ask you a really, really tough question. What's your potential? How much does the average human have? How much does everybody have? What level of potential does everybody have available to them? What is available to you as it relates to your potential? Are you limited in your potential? No, you have unlimited potential. Now, here's where the wheels fall off the wagon like a freaking freight train. If your potential is unlimited, let me ask you, what are the actions that you take? Do you take unlimited potential actions? Or do you take actions based upon your education? See, you have accepted that from leadership. What actions do you take as it relates to your relationships? See, you've accepted those actions based upon the leadership that guided you. Listen, it may be you who's guiding you. That's called self-talk. If you have unlimited potential, what are the actions you take as it relates to your finances? In today's economy, I hear so many people saying, I want to create a six-figure income, a seven-figure income. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, billionaires. They have no idea what they're doing to their subconscious system when they say things like that. But they've accepted that from leadership, that that's how they're going to advance. And only 2%, 3% of the people advance. See, those are still the statistics. Ever since personal development has started, if personal development has worked, if personal development is so good, if we have millionaires happening on a daily basis, why aren't you? You're in the personal development world. You're in the personal development world that says, I'm going to do this. I'm going to create affirmations, and I'm going to create all of these things, and I'm going to do the work. And you do it for a day. I'm going to read this book and I'm going to follow it to the T, and you do it for a day. You do it for a week. You do it for a year. And then you get stuck again. Because somebody hasn't sat with you and rewired you for who you are becoming. Everybody's having a rewire with you for who you have been. They've been giving you a pass on the pain that you've suffered. They've been giving you a pass on the pain that you've been living in your past. They've been giving you a pass that it's okay for you to tell me about the shit that happened in your life 10 years ago. Bob Proctor said it. Listen, y'all follow Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor said, if you want to be healthy, don't hang around sick people. If you want to be wealthy, don't hang around poverty mindset people. If you want to have a bright future, don't hang around people who talk about a dark past. Now, let me be very clear. The reason that you probably would not be served well by talking about your dark past around average people is because their dark past arises within them. And before the day is over, you both are sitting in a midnight of misery from your past. They're not neuro-encoded specialists. They're not brain-trained specialists. They're not self-talk specialists. They're not mental toughness specialists. And you're hanging around people who are just like you, and all they need is a little push over the edge to talk about their pain. See, people allow you to accept your limitations. Leadership around you allows you to accept your limitations. You're hanging around the wrong leadership. I get in trouble all the time for this conversation. It's why I don't normally put it out publicly. I just, the emails that come in and the aggravation, and these are from my friends. They tell me this. I have people on my team who are succeeding. Outstanding. What's your conversion ratio? For those people that are in your inner circle, they have pretty high numbers. The second you get outside the inner circle, there's not a good success rate. Remember, 98% of the population are successful. And how long has personal development been around? Couple 100 years. In our last 100 years, we haven't figured out the new clue to success. We haven't figured out the new way to help you accelerate. We haven't figured out the new way for you to leave your baggage behind. In 100 years, how long do you think it'll be acceptable to you that you have to wait for leadership that makes sense, for leadership that helps you uncover, unlock, undo the things that have been done to you? And for once in this moment, in this lifetime, how many of you, drop an L in the chat if you think you should be able to live your dreams in this lifetime, not the next? Follow me? How many of you think you should live your dreams in this lifetime, not the next? Well, if you keep tiptoeing around the people that you hang with, if you keep tiptoeing around the leadership that you have, if you keep saying, man, I wish I could just get 10 minutes with them, that's not good leadership. Just isn't. If you have a burning desire, it should be lit on fire, and we should let people come from miles around to watch your desire burn. But the biggest challenge is, the biggest fear is the biggest holdback is most people are afraid to ask. Why are you afraid to ask? See, that's the biggest limitation. That's the acceptance that you had. Well, they're busy, they're this, they're that. I promise you, they're not. They're not as busy as you think they are. They're not as reluctant as you think they are. Sometimes you are the light that inspires them to do better. Oh, there's a fee for it. You're either going to cut your teeth and go through this pain day after day after day after day, or you're going to cut a check and be done with it. The challenge is so many of you have cut the DIY check. The DIY check, the do-it-yourself check. You've bought books and thought you were going to learn how to use them. The reason that you keep buying books is because the last one didn't make sense. See, if it makes sense, it'll make dollars, and you haven't been able to make dollars out of the last book you read. Well, I implemented it, but I didn't take notes. I wanted to read the book so I could say I read the book. How many times, if you're married to an idea, if you're married to a person, how many times do you come home to that person? Daily? How many times do you have a conversation with that person? Daily? Why won't you have daily conversations with a book that has served you well? Listen, for some of you, it might be the Bible you haven't been reading in a while. I said I was going to read a little more of that. Maybe it's The Millionaire Next Door, and it really changed your life, but you haven't picked it up in months or years. Maybe it's the idea of drinking water every day or doing a push-up every day, adding one push-up to your number of push-ups you do on a daily basis. Maybe that's what you were going to do, but you haven't done it in years. Maybe sending out 5 messages a day of gratitude to somebody. 5 people, pick 5 people a day and send them out messages of gratitude. If you want things to change, you have to change. Gandhi said, if you see the change, be the change you want to see in the world. If you're bitching that life isn't fun, go make it fun. If you're complaining about life being poor, then go become rich. And rich doesn't always have to be money, but I can tell you this, if you want to become rich, if you'd like to make $1 million every single year, if you'd like to make $1 million a day, go make 1 million friends and just tell them, listen, part of the requirement of being my friend is sending me $1 on my birthday. Some of you say you've got thousands of followers. You don't have any friends. People do business with people they know, they like, they trust. Why are you expecting anybody to do business with you on social media? Why have you been tricked into this illusion that people are going to do business with you on social media just because you post out something about your product? People do business with people they know, they like, they trust. That hasn't changed. So, do people know you? Do they like you? You got 10,000 followers, but 7 people like your post. Those are your 7 advocates. You don't have 10,000 followers. You don't have 10,000 people who like you. I'm the perfect example. I think I have 7,000, 7,800 people on Instagram. You want to know how many people I have on Instagram that like me? 3. 3! That's how many people are on this live right now. And it might jump off because somebody's like, ah, shit, I don't want them to think I like them. Do not be confused. Do not be lulled into this illusion that you're something special. The only way you become, I got 4 now. Woo-hoo-hoo. Don't be lulled in this illusion that you think you're something special. See, if you make your message about you, the second somebody realizes they can make the message about them, they're gone. They're off. They leave. They're done. Why does everybody have to feel they have to be the center of attention? Yeah, see, somebody left. It's back to 3 now. I don't like this guy. What are you doing to shine light on others? What are you doing to lift people up? You lift up enough people, somebody's going to say, hey, whoa, who's doing all the lifting? Are you a lifter of people or are you a shooter of people? Do you should all over everybody? You should be doing this. You know what? You should be doing this. You should listen to this. You should be in this business with me. You should be doing this. You should be taking this. You should be taking that. Boy, you should be healthier. You should be this. You should be making more money. What happens if you start to fall in love with people? Wow, this is business. I don't fall in love with people. Okay. Jim Rohn would say, possibly that's a clue. I don't fall in love with people. I want to do business with them. Do you think they're scared? Do you think they're afraid of failure? Do you think they're afraid that somebody's going to look down upon them for doing something to take care of themselves? Leadership is about acceptance. Check yourself first. See what you've accepted as leadership. And then you might see why you're stuck. This idea that you can change, that you can make a habit in 21 days, sure, if I hold a gun to your head. If that was the case, you've been doing stuff for 30 days, 40 days, 50 days. Why isn't it a habit yet? Because it takes 18 months for it to become a habit. A habit is a habitualized manner, a habitualized action, meaning you do not have to think about it anymore. The reason cigarettes have 20 packs, 20 cigarettes in a pack is because they knew that it would take 21 days. And because of its addictive quality, the challenge is that you are not addicted to your new ideas. You're so addicted to your past that you can't find your new path. You find it at events, you find it at workshops, you find it on calls like this, and you say, you know what, screw it, I'm done with the old, I'm in with the new. And the second you get off this call, somebody sends you a text or somebody makes a mean comment on a post, and you're like, ugh, why can't people just be good? Because people are wired to be bad. Listen, they're not wired to be mean. They're wired to be bad. And bad is that they've got to look for the negative. We're wired to protect ourselves. The brain looks for 2 things. Will it kill me? First, will it kill me? First, will it kill me? Second, how fast can I recognize the pattern? So now all of a sudden, you've got to find patterns. You got to find patterns that say, how do I avoid dying? Not how do I avoid thriving? How do I avoid dying? How do I survive? How do I stay average? And with that being the case, you wind up stuck and another year goes by. And then you go to a big event. Big decisions are made at big events, right? Big decisions are made at big events. And you go to a big event and you make a big decision, but it has no legs to stand on. Nobody has taught you how to rewire your past so that when you do make a big decision, you can move forward on it. You make a big decision and you got 85,000 thoughts in your head just from yesterday that say, you can't do that. And it happens at a subconscious level. See, you haven't been taught subconscious visualization technique. You haven't gone through a hypnotherapy session. You think that if I do harder, I do more, I work harder, tougher, stronger, more diligent, I sleep less, I exhaust myself, that somewhere, somehow I'm going to get the golden ticket because I'm exhausted. I'm working myself to the bone and I'm doing all of this. I'm in the grind. And all of a sudden you think you're going to come out and you're going to win? Sorry, you can't win in the grind. The grind doesn't allow you new creativity. The grind doesn't allow you the ability to stop and think. The grind doesn't allow you the ability to recollect your thoughts and move forward. The grind is a freaking grind. And I can promise you, the people who are in the grind have masterminds. There is no grind in a mastermind. You ask them. The people that tell you, the leadership that has taught you, be in the grind, rise and grind, people. Ask them, do they have masterminds? Ask yourself, do you know they have masterminds? Have you ever been a part of a mastermind? Is it a grind in a mastermind? Where do their ideas come from? A mastermind. And is it a grind in the mastermind? It is not a grind in a mastermind where they get their secrets, where they get their awakenings. But they've convinced you, rise and grind. So you have accepted that from leadership. Because it sounds cool. It sounds sexy. Baby, I'm in the grind like you're doing something. Are you an idiot? You got to be an idiot to think that saying those words, I'm in the grind, is going to get you anywhere other than the grind. Sorry if I'm being a bearer of bad news, or if you think that's stupid. Congratulations. How's it working for you? How's the grind working for you? How's the grind working for you? Just curious. I've not met anybody in the grind who didn't sneak out of the grind, who gets to tell others to be in the grind. I was in the grind. Yeah, but how did you get out? See, nobody's telling you how to get the frick out of the grind. Gratitude is the way out of the grind. Oh, just burn through your names. I tell them, listen, you got to look at this. And if they don't look at this, give them 5 minutes. And if they're not in, move on to the next one. Boy, aren't you glad somebody didn't treat you that way? So what's the grind you're in you want out? You're in a grind. Even if you don't say I'm in a grind, you're going to wake up and you're going to do pretty much the same shit today you did yesterday. And it's not working. It's not working. Because here's what it is. You can do the same thing every day. You can do the right activities. But what Wallace D. Waddle says, it's not about doing certain things, the right activities. It's about doing things in a certain way. And until you link gratitude into that, until you link love into that, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. It's impossible for it to work. The laws of the universe are against you if you're in the grind. Sorry, but 98% of the population are in the grind, and you think there's not a law? You think there's not universal rules that are keeping those 98% in the grind? Got to ask yourself, are you that foolish? If 98% of the population struggle and all of this information is available and social media makes it available, TikTok's the new Google, Google is the new everything, and all of this information is available, and still 98% of the population is stuck? They're living below their means? I know people who make $100,000 a year who live below their means. They live below their potential because they got stuck at the ceiling of $100K a year. Oh man, I'd give anything to be at 100K a year. So you just set a limit, not a goal. When is it okay for you to be at peace? When is it okay for you to live freedom? When is it okay for you to wake up each morning knowing you are fully taken care of no matter what you want to do? You don't need to go be a billionaire. Hell, you may need to just be a thousandaire, a weekly thousandaire, to be able to wake up without stress, to be able to go to sleep knowing that you've taken care of your family. Come on, pull your head out of the clouds or maybe someplace else. And let's get to work on taking care of you this week. I have a 90-day program that's getting ready to launch that will take you from 5K to 90 days. $5,000 in 90 days. That's easy. That's simple to do. If you have any kind of business model that anybody can make $5,000 in a week, you can make $5,000 in 90 days. Why aren't you doing it? Because you haven't focused, you haven't dialed in, you haven't tuned in, you haven't turned on. You're in the grind, baby. You're in the grind. And your monthly auto ship pays for their freedom. Are you kidding me? I'm in network marketing. I love it. It's mentors leading mentors, moms leading moms, making lasting money. But you're taught MLM is the grind. You got to grind it out. When you make a decision that you're done with all of the bullshit, you'll reach out. You'll understand that the biggest challenge that you have is your self-talk. It's not your scripts. It's the scripts you say to yourself, but you don't ask for those scripts. When you're done and you want to finally draw the line in the sand and say, I'm ready to fix my world, you'll have a conversation with somebody who understands mental toughness, understands the ability to create discipline in your mind. When you draw that line in the sand and you stop and you finally want to stop sweating or getting a knot in your stomach every time you think you're going to take care of yourself, you're going to have a conversation with somebody who's a neuroencoding specialist. Because what you say in your head winds up in your body and your body controls you. And when you finally decide you want to be able to have the scripts to change your world, you're going to have a conversation with a self-talk specialist. Go ask your mentors, go ask your leaders, are they trained in self-talk? Are they trained in neuroencoding? Are they trained in mental toughness? Ask them. And then you might figure out why you're a little stuck. So ask yourself today, as you go through today, look at the things that you do, look at the things that you've learned, the lessons you've learned. It was leadership that taught you any of the lessons you're about to learn. Ask yourself, have I accepted this? Is this my reality forever? And when you make that decision and when you find that place and when you understand that conversation, you might decide to accept leadership on a whole different level. I wish you great joy today. I wish you great ability to lead yourself. You know what it takes to go from the 98% who struggle to the 2% who are free? A decision. That's it. A decision. The challenge is once you make that decision, you're going to be going to talk to the other people who are in the 98% of the world, and therefore you're going to wind up staying stuck. You may wind up at the top of the 98%. You're still going to be in the ones that struggle. Maybe it's time to make a choice. Maybe it's time to make a decision. Maybe it's time to do the hard work for yourself. If you're ready, let's have a conversation. I look forward to speaking to you. I'm Sean Murphy, your head misfit, teaching you how to have more of what you want, less of what you don't in this lifetime, not the next. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Till then, bye for now. And YouTubers, love you tons. I appreciate you. Can't wait to see you where? At the next event.